critically analyzing global affairs. The Muckrakers on today's News Talk, TNT.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome back to the Muckrakers with me, Andrew Eborn, and a very happy Canada Day to everybody celebrating that today. As always, here on the Muckrakers, we pledge to tackle the most pressing and controversial news issues of our time. Our mission is to provide more light and less heat on the subjects that matter to you in our unquavering quest to uncover the truth. Well, today we're going to unpack the latest in the general election happening here in the UK, with only 3 more days to go of campaigning before what many predict will be Starmageddon. What can we do to avoid it? Well, here to help us discover that, and joined with me, Andrew Eborn, by also Alan Cook and Nadia Klok. Welcome to both of you.
Hello. Thank you.
Now, let me tell you a bit about each of them. Both of them are candidates in this election, which will make it very interesting. And you can probably tell by their rosettes. Alan Cook is the Reform UK candidate for Bromley and Biggin Hill constituency. And Nadia Klok is the Workers' Party of Britain candidate for Brent West and the London secretary of the party. And George Galloway, who I quote virtually every single show about 2 cheeks of the same backside. That's his party as well. Let me start with you, Nadia, then. What do you see as the most important issue in this general election campaign?
Well, it's poverty disparity between the super rich and the poor. So basically, the middle classes are being pushed down with the working classes, and everyone's being affected now. At the moment, our foreign policies are really important. So that means a possible war with Russia, all-out war, conscription, which nobody wants to see. And also the genocide currently happening in Gaza. Our party, our stance, we cannot support this genocide. We cannot support what's going on. We need to support allies who abide by the Geneva Convention and don't break it on an everyday basis.
Okay, Alan?
Well, I agree on the cost of living crisis, but we may disagree on the cause of it. I don't think it's caused by disparity, although that is there quite clearly, and we need to change our tax to actually reflect that to a certain degree. But I think 2 things. The main reason we're having this is the mass immigration, which is affecting just about every single public sector. And it's suppressing wages as well, because it's low-skilled immigration, not chosen immigration. We do need immigration. We are a pro-immigration party, but we just need to choose who we come in. If we need doctors, plasterers, gardeners, that's who we'll bring in. But the biggest impact, which is causing people problems money-wise, has got to be net zero. It is something no one voted for. It wasn't even voted for in the Commons. It went through on a nod. And quite unusually, it was a bill that went through uncosted. That never normally happens. The reason it wasn't costed is because you can't cost it, because the technology to get there doesn't exist yet. And, there's £2 trillion just to part decarbonise the grid. So, and the transport sector is bigger than that. So we are talking the greatest expense this country will ever face, and it's been nodded through. So, we are the only party advocating let's have a proper, serious look at net zero.
And I think you're actually going even further than that. I had Ben Habib on the show and also Dr. David Bull just last week. And I know Nigel Farage and also Richard Tice very well. I think your commitment actually is to abandon it altogether and save billions. Is that right?
Oh, it is, yes. But I like to speak in moderate terms. But, a lot of people, we like to have conversation. We're not like the hard left, where they point and shout at you and try and close down conversation and cancel you. We actually are all about debate and conversation. It's how democracy should work. They don't want people to have a choice. We've seen the media with their dirty tactics trying to shut down our party because that is a direct attack on democracy. Even if you don't like our policy, we have the right to exist and to create an opposition and not be shut down. This is a very deep problem the society has at the moment. And what we're drifting towards is we're moving from a 2-party system potentially to a 1-party system. The hard left are doing everything in their power to try and ensure that they will never be voted out in future. by giving sort of foreign nationals a vote, by giving children the vote, that is going to backfire on them tremendously. Because guess what? Kids like to rebel. They don't like to go with the standard option. And now that the left wing has got all this indoctrination in all of the education establishments, the left wing is the norm. So if any kid wants to rebel, they've got to go against the all this indoctrination they've been drip fed for years. So that's why I'm absolutely flabbergasted about the amount of support we are getting from the youth of today. Just about every son and daughter of all my friends are coming to us saying we're supporting reform because we are anti-establishment, and that's what the kids like. They want to rebel a little bit. So we are, you know, and I believe, Nadia, your party is as well. You're very anti-establishment. So I think we're probably going to agree on more things than you think. You know, if you're after
I think we are. Sounds like it. I've been nodding away so far. You know, you see, you mentioned about the mass illegal immigration, which we also are against. But we need to stop the wars that create them. And that includes, yeah. So when Gaddafi was removed, he was responsible for stopping all the boats. So we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. Nigel said that. You know, he was against the last two wars. And we've got, you know, a lot of it American foreign policy. If you look back over decades, it hasn't been the best, shall we say.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No. And I think that's what we're fighting against. Sorry, my dear.
No, go for it. There's a slight delay. Go for it.
So I think we're both against that American control of Britain. And I think that's the nail on the head here. We need to regain our sovereignty.
Yeah, and can I add to that it's not necessarily just America as in the country's leader. It's globalism and global socialism, because we have these external unelected supranational bodies like the WEF, the WHO, the UN, who are all trying to sovereign grab. They're trying to take control of our borders, our medical decisions. Now, all of this should, for a sovereign nation, should be our decision. So we are going to leave the ECHR if we're in power. We'll leave the WEF and the WHO. So it's, you know, we're quite clear. We want to run our country so we can look after our own citizens. We are a UK-centric party. We put our citizens first before these globalist bodies.
Right. So
it is interesting. Yes, it is interesting because you're getting this sort of country first, which is very sort of Trump speak, isn't it? It's sort of America first. Where do you stand on that, Nadia?
So we are anti-nationalists, but we do believe in patriotism. And there's a fine line between both of them. Nationalism is a love of your own based on the hate of others. Patriotism, you're okay with the world, you're all right with the world. But when your country's in need, you'll come to its aid. And that's the difference. So as a party, with what's happening in America, and Alan is completely right, there are outside bodies like the WEF that have too much control and too much say in